Sometimes people stir up chaos for no apparent reason. Thankfully, some of these moments get captured on camera and they have to face the consequences for their actions. When an 8-year-old was selling water to save up for a trip to Disneyland after her mom was laid off work, a lady for some reason got super upset and called the police on her for selling water without a permit.
You calling police on an 8-year-old little girl, you can hide all you want. The whole world gonna see you, boo.
Yeah, and illegally selling water without a permit? Yeah.
On my property.
It's not your property.
And to make things worse, she told the Huffington Post that she didn't actually call 911. But San Francisco PD released the phone call.
I don't understand why some people care that much.
Hi, I'm having someone that does not have a vendor permit that's selling water across from the ballpark. Talk about that.
Okay, 1 second. Let me transfer you over to the police department.
They're like, why are you wasting my
Needless to
time?
say, the police never showed up. Complaining about someone's name is not a good thing to do because it targets an inherent part of their identity over which they have no control. That's why when Katie Hopkins was complaining about people's names, especially ones which are based on geographical location, she was quickly called out.
I do make a very quick decision based on their first names, and there's a whole bunch of first names that I don't like. I don't like geographical location names, Brooklyn or London.
Your child's called India.
Yes, but you know, that's because it's not related to a location. That's because it's
Not related to a location. What?
related to a family.
At this point, one might
India
have
not
expected her
real?
to acknowledge the valid points made by the hosts, but instead she chose to double down on her stance.
I do
Until I
judge
met
children
them.
by their names.
That's
I do make
terrible.
assumptions, and lots of
Listen
other
to what
parents
you're
do.
saying. You judge children
Yes.
on their names.
Yes, Holly.
Even though the laws around property lines are complicated
It's when they're so confident on it.
and can vary from county to county, it's generally
Bruh.
legal to
Thank
get
you for
right
the
up to your
biddies.
neighbor's fence,
None.
as long as you're on your own property. But this couple's neighbor was not happy with the new fence they put up, as she believed it was too close to her property, and rather than communicating or calling the city, law enforcement took action into their own hands.
What is she
You're
doing?
really gonna damage your fence.
Do you think I care?
No, you don't care.
Despite it being understandable how some gym goers or owners get annoyed by very loud exercises, such as deadlifting with a lot of weight, a gym Karen took it too far by calling out a girl that barely dropped a bar with no weight.
I didn't drop the weight, I dropped the ball. How much is that weight? There's no weight. There's no weight.
Wait, since when's there a rule about dropping weights? Isn't that the whole atmosphere of a gym? You hear the weights dropping? Like, since when is there a rule?
Luckily for the guy, Joey Swole has not seen the video yet. Okay, there's no real explanation for this woman's actions, but a lady who was on her way to take out the trash decided to not let someone that lives at the apartment on the elevator, and insisted for her to take the stairs for no real reason.
Stairs over there. Please hurry up. I'm literally just trying to go home.
You want to start? Go to the stairs.
I'm going to send this to the office because this is unacceptable.
This is why I couldn't do an
After a
apartment.
man failed to appear in court the first time for an alleged domestic violence charge, the judge was not happy and not willing to cut this man any slack. And to make things worse, he came without a lawyer but a lot of attitude.
I don't need an attorney.
You're a lawyer?
Nope. Don't really give a to be honest with you.
That's going to cost you 30 days in the county jail for contempt. Cuff him.
Tell someone we could live more, yeah.
$5,000 cash surety bond. Subject to
Really,
different-
prom?
And
I
while
didn't
swearing
know.
that the judge caused him 30 days in county jail with a $5,000 bond, but the man was not done.
Can I give you a piece of advice?
What?
You can either make life easy or you can make life hard.
I already ruined my life.
That's 60. You want to go for 90?
Find it kind of crazy that they can just like do that.
That's 90 more. That's 180.
A man was going to host a rooftop gathering until 10 p.m. and was kind enough to notify his neighbors.
Thank you for the 5 gifted subbies. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's go. Thank you, Fugi. I really appreciate the 5 gifted subs. Thank you.
Despite not really having to, since most local regulations start noise disturbance complaints from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Thank you.
But one of the neighbors got really annoyed about the gathering, and instead of knocking and asking him to turn the music down, decided to trespass on the property.
You walked into my house.
I know I'm walking to your house.
It's amazing.
I know, it is amazing. So if you don't want people to come in, don't write entrance.
Bro, she's unhinged.
Because you guys have been doing this all the time.
Hey, you know, you could have just knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, we would have turned.
In a very frustrating video to watch, a girl parked her car in the parking lot at the place she worked at. In the middle of her shift, a woman came into the store asking who owns the BMW, because they parked over the line and hit her car. This obviously doesn't make sense because she was parked there first. So she goes and takes a look, which clearly shows the older woman parked way over the line and was the one to actually hit the car. But the Karen decided to stick with her story.
Sorry, guys. Thank you, freaking. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. That didn't make me angry. Thank you, Fuki.
Hit a car. You did. I did not because I have been here.
I had this scenario once where I was trying to drive into like a car park at Woolies, and this car like stopped on the entry. So like I stop and she starts to reverse back and I'm literally behind her, and I lay my hand on the horn and she still backs into the front of my car. And then she goes to drive off. Like I see her go around, she goes to quickly drive off, and there was only one entry and exit. So I block the exit and then get out of my car, and I see her quickly lock her doors. And I was just like, you hit my car. And she's like, what? And I'm like, you hit my car. And I already had dents on my car. And she's like, no, I didn't. And I was like, yes, you did. I wish I had a dash cam. I was like, you literally reversed into me and I honked the horn. I was like, can you give me your details for insurance? She's like, I think you're trying. And then she looked at my car, and I've obviously got like a dent on the back of my car that I never got fixed. She's like, you're trying to do insurance fraud to me. And I was like, excuse me? She's like, what are all these other dents? And I was like, they're nothing to do with you. I'm like, you reversed into the front of my car. I was like, don't worry about the back of the car. And then she was like, you're trying to do insurance fraud. I was like, lady, I'm like, you're a fucking hazard to the road. I was like, you've reversed into me. I lied. I was like, I've got dash cam footage. So I was like, I can just take it to the police if you want. And she was like, okay, fine. Like, I'll give you the details. So she knew she was lying. I lied and said I had a dash cam, and then she all of a sudden gave me her details. But I was like, dude, you're a hazard. She's a hazard to the parking lot or the road.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't
You're not
angry.
over the line. You're not over the line. You're not over the line.
A city council turned politics into theatrics when a former
Yeah, I do need a
council
dash
member
cam.
slightly hit the commissioner in the head, and she waited a beat or two and proceeded to roll onto the floor in apparent agony that would even make some footballers proud.
Hey, stop that woman from leaving the room. She should be arrested.
When a woman bought a lottery ticket at a store, she told her nephew that they would share the winnings if they won. So if they both wrote the names on the ticket, and well, the ticket ended up being worth $1.2 million. When they went to collect the winnings at the lottery headquarters, the woman wasn't happy at all, and said she meant to split the winnings only if it wasn't the jackpot.
And now he's trying to lie and say I said...
Wait. I need to rehear this one.
Woman bought a lottery ticket at a store. She told her nephew that they would share the winnings if they won. So if they both wrote the names on the ticket, and well, the ticket ended up being worth $1.2 million. When they went to collect the winnings at the lottery headquarters, the woman wasn't happy at all, and said she meant to split the winnings only if it wasn't the jackpot.
And now he's trying to lie and say I said split. I said split with the 50-50, not with no JCAs. I'm taking him to court. I'm getting my lawyer tomorrow.
Whose name was on the ticket?
Me and Tyrone.
You and Tyrone?
I put his name on the ticket for good luck.
Why did you do that?
Because he's like a son to me.
He's like a son to me, but he's not having my money.
She did keep her...
If you had to choose out of these 3 superpowers, which would you choose? Invisibility, hypnosis, and telekinesis. I'd pick invisibility.
Her word and took her nephew to court, but ended up reaching a settlement, giving her nephew $260,000 of the $600,000.
They're both
Okay, but I'm sorry. You put his name on the ticket. Don't back out then. Like...
satisfied with the terms of the settlement. It was reached mutually in order to avoid further court proceedings and to bring this matter to a final conclusion.
A routine traffic stop for speeding in Gulf Breeze, Florida turned into a very bizarre interaction between a policeman and the woman, who believed that she did not need a driver's license, as she was not driving a commercial vehicle, which is not a law at all.
You got your license, registration, proof of insurance.
You don't have to have a license to drive a car.
Yes, you do.
You do not.
What? When people argue the police, I'm like, what?
Ma'am, step out the vehicle. Turn around.
I do not have to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not.
Well, then you can tell that to the judge if you end up going to jail.
I do not have to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle. I have all the laws right there.
If there's someone that you want to be respectful to, is the person that decides on your future. Ironically, this law student at the University of Miami was rude during the entire trial, but the judge finally lost it when he insulted her judgment right after giving her sentence.
Wrong.
That's your opinion.
No, that's my ruling, pal. And let me tell you something, Mr. University of Miami Law School. I taught at UM for many, many years, and you right now are embarrassing us. You do not show that kind of disrespect, okay?
Fast food is usually fast, but if you go during peak hours or someone places a huge order, there's only so much employees can do.
What's with her eyelashes? Is this the same girl? What is with the eyelashes?
After waiting for 10 minutes in the drive-thru, a woman had enough and went inside and started making a mess. And she even had the audacity to call the police.
10 minutes. 10 minutes!
And tell them she wants her money back.
I want my money. I'm not going nowhere. The police will have to get here.
Thank you, dear.
It's crazy how angry some people
But
get
perhaps
over,
the
like,
weirdest part is the
I don't
dance
know.
she did right before leaving. And the sheriff in the town took the opportunity
She's unhinged. I'ma just say it. If your eyelashes be doing that, you probably are unhinged.
to make some puns.
She looks fantastic with that makeup, though. She need the lashes. I have questions, but she looks fantastic makeup, Liz.
Mess. And she acted like a McNut.
A good thing is to learn that the gym is not your personal film studio, so you can't really be upset if someone walks by your camera.
Like Hellu, side eye, throw weights.
Bowling is a fun activity.
I'm sorry. When you're in a public place and you're trying to get a picture, people walking in front is just like you're at a gym. Of course, find somewhere where it's not a busy traction of walking. Like what?
To do with friends and family. But this individual turned into a high-stakes battle. Apparently, she was not happy that this man was rolling the ball at the same time as her instead of waiting, which made no sense since he was not even on the same lane.
Learn how to wait your turn when you're bowling next to my family?
How do I have to wait a turn? We're on different lanes.
That's the problem. You see, you're not supposed to go when other people are going because I could be a professional and you could be screwing me up.
Thankfully, the soup was already cold when she threw it, so there were no injuries. But an angry customer made a pickup
Aladdin.
order of
How are
soup,
you?
And when she went back to her place,
I don't know how to
realized
bowl
the soup
well.
was so hot it melted the plastic. So she drove back to the restaurant to ask for a refund or replacement meal. And the manager said, of course. But before she even got the chance to help her, the customer threw the soup at the employee's face.
Warmth of the soup was not enough to really burn me. I mean, as you can see, I have no injuries from that itself, but the spices from the soup are what my eyes were stinging so bad.
It's hard to understand why.
I hope she got like a hefty jail time sentence for that. That is so bad. If she was complaining that it was boiling and she threw it back on her face, oh my goodness. I hope she got a hefty jail sentence. That's all I'm going to say. And it's soup. It's going to be hot. Like, it's obviously an accident. Like,
Why someone would have an issue with a service dog at a store. But if you do, it should be left to the employees to handle. An older woman was not having a good day and took it out on a man that had a service dog, claiming it wasn't really a service dog, despite her having no proof. And it escalated to the point in which she kicked the man that had the dog and police were called.
She kicked a dog.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
So the asshole really did call you, huh? I asked the man why he had the dog in here. It's a service dog. Where's his jacket? Where's his proof? I don't have to show you. The law says I don't have to. I said, well, we'll go up to the desk then.
Why are people so triggered by animals? Like, I see a dog and I'm excited. Like, I get there's allergies and things, but what?
I don't have to show them either. I said, because he's not a f***ing service dog. And then the dog jumped on me, so I turned around and I kicked him in the ass.
Okay, this actually went viral on TikTok, and people had very
What a
mixed reactions
bitch.
about it. But a woman went to her window seat on the plane just to see a woman sitting there already.
Wait.
People had
What would you do? I got on a plane and a woman was sitting in my seat. And when I mentioned to her, she said, oh, you want to sit here? I thought we could switch because these are my kids. She points to the 2 seats next to mine. I said, as long as it's a window seat, I'm happy to switch. She points to the row behind us and says, mine is right there. It's the middle seat.
very mixed reactions about it. But a woman went to her window seat on
No.
the plane just to see a woman sitting there already. And when she told the woman that was her seat, she asked if she could switch, since she wanted to sit next to the kid. And well, the lady said she doesn't mind as long as her seat is a window seat as well. But it was a middle seat, so she said no.
Well, I just thought I could switch with you because these are my kids. And she pointed to the 2 seats next to her. Sure, I'm happy to switch with you as long as it's a window seat. And she said, oh, it's right here. And she said it like, oh yeah, great, it's right here. And so I thought, oh, it must be the window seat. But then she pointed to the middle seat.
What would you do, chat? What would you do?
The seat where I was supposed to be sitting.
On one hand, it's easy to see why the mother wanted to sit with her kids, but maybe she should have picked her seats in advance instead. Maybe trying to bite an
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like she's not to blame because it's kind of like, I do understand, but if you're swapping for the same seat, fair enough. But if you pay for a window seat, and normally you do, it's like you should book with your kids. It's not her fault. It's the same as like that one we saw that time. Actually, it was a Reddit post and it was talking about how a girl got upgraded on from like economy to a first class ticket. And she said that's the only time that's ever happened to her and probably ever will happen to her. And then when she was on the plane, they also upgraded 2 random passengers on a plane. And apparently there were like 2 parents, and they come up and they were like, hey, like, then the flight attendant came and asked her, because she was upgraded, if she'd be willing to swap and go back into economy so their kid could join the 2 parents that had been upgraded to economy. And she said no. And apparently like the mum said like, you're a horrible person and all this stuff. But when I heard that story, I was like, why? If you're 2 parents and your kid's in economy, wouldn't one parent stay and the kid and the other parent go to the first class? I was like, that ain't that woman's problem. I was like, you're bad as a parent for taking the ticket. Like, one of the parents should have stayed in economy and taken the kid with them. I was like, I would, honestly, chat, I would not give up first class so someone could sit with their kid. I know that sounds horrible, but I'm like, mate, in that scenario, one of the parents stays in economy and the kid goes in. I was like, that's on you. If that was me and my husband and our kid, I would stay. I'd say, you and the kid go, have a fantastic time. I don't know. I was like, I'll take that one. I'll go to my grave with it. I was like, I'm going to hell. But honestly, I think the parents are in the thing for that. Don't know. Other parents are, yeah. I don't know. I think it says more for the parents just leaving the poor kid in economy. Bye, sweetie. Have a good flight. Yeah. Kid can go, the parents didn't. Yeah, they should have just at least sent the kid. I don't know.
An officer who's being nothing but respectful to you is not a good idea.
Oh.
Only an incredibly talented artist can turn a Karen's rant into an incredible musical.
And you are not going to put your disgusting rules on me that are false and not true. I will not have it. Do you understand that? I will not have it.
I can't believe some of these are real. They look theatrical. I'm so shocked that these are actual people. What's going on in America? Why are so many of them American?